Welcome back. It's the big story this Wednesday morning. 9 suspects being shot dead in a gun battle with police at Desai. That's in Mariannhill in the early hours of this morning. Authorities say the suspects have been terrorizing the community for quite some time. 2 other people are still on the run as police continue with their investigations. Once again, Vusi Khumalo is part of our team at the scene, and he joins us now live. And Vusi, it's been a story that's gripped headlines in this country and certainly the attention of many people in that community. But what are community leaders saying around what happened a few hours ago?
Yes, quite a few community leaders and also community members are a bit afraid. They've been taken aback by this incident that took place here in the early hours of this morning when 9 people believed to be a gang that has been terrorizing communities here were shot dead by police. According to the police, they've been on the lookout for these suspects. They've actually taken over about 3 houses and having chased away the occupants of these houses. And as we are speaking right now, there are parents and also the relatives of the victims who are being taken in to the mortuary van. They are identifying them. It's a very emotional scene as they are sobbing as they go out from the scene, having confirmed the victims, having identified the bodies belonging to them. Let us speak to the CPF now, the Community Policing Forum in this area. They have his name is Mr. Daud Chira, who is got a position within the CPF in this area of Mariannhill in Desai. Just tell us briefly about such incidents. Do we have a high rate of such incidents that have been happening here in this area, and also perhaps your complaints, because I believe that even some of the occupants of these houses have been complaining to police about them being chased away by the gangs?
Yes, on numerous occasions there were crime reported at our Mariannhill SAPS, and they were all investigated, and nobody was arrested at that particular moment. And it kept on carrying on until the community themselves took initiative that whatever they can see that is happening around should be reported to the police. But, you know, investigation takes time. It's not something you can investigate today and arrest the next day. But the crime did not stop. It carried on until now, as we see there's a scene here of these gangsters.
Okay, so now what's your reaction as your complaints have ended up in this way?
I've got mixed feelings. When you have a child, you always wish for the best for your child, but it happens your child maybe is being influenced. Especially we look at the social ills. Most of the community are our poor community, and a lot of things in terms of influencing the young people to commit crime is always there. Surely
you have asked police to intervene, and as CPF you are also as a middleman between the community as well as police. Has your investigations with police, working together with police, have not yielded positive fruits before?
It did. Fortunately, I'm the witness to that, because there were arrests that were conducted, and but there were no conviction. The cases were still in court, but those were still carrying on terrorizing the people. Then there was no peace and stability. People were not enjoying their rights as the loyal citizens of this country. And furthermore, if you commit an unlawful act, irrespective of that you are still a teenager, you are young or old, a criminal is a criminal. So therefore, what resulted today is what was expected.
And also, perhaps we are told that amongst the dead, 3 of them are 18 years old. These must be the teenagers who were also from this area. How difficult was it to deal with such elements?
It's very difficult. I'm also a parent, and if you're a parent, you don't go around with your child, especially once they reach the age of 18, and the influence of which they started committing is whereby they were taking drugs. Once you take drugs, obviously you must fit that habit. How are you going to fit that habit if you're unemployed? Then you think of robbing the other person. Then it escalates and it rises where they were carrying firearms and they were doing it repeatedly. So we couldn't resist anything, not unless the police were doing their job. So what had happened then was expected.
So let me step on this side so that Mapolo can also show some of the visuals, the mortuary van, after having taken first the bodies, some of the bodies of 9 people who were shot dead here. As I'm talking to you now, do you perhaps can you count some of the most recent incident where this gang was involved in?
I may count the house robberies because that was common to us, kicking the doors open, especially those houses with tenants, rob them of their belongings, and murders. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And also having taken these 3 houses, they have also, according to the police, they've chased away the occupants or the owners of these 3 buildings. Do you know about that incident?
I don't like to speculate. Forcefully removing them away from their houses, I don't know. But what can I say? If you're living in fear and you saw something happening at your neighbor, obviously you know that it's coming to you, so you will always seek for a refugee somewhere else. Then you come back when the situation has calmed down.
Thanks a lot for your time, sir.
Pleasure, you're welcome.
Okay, thanks. This is Dawood Chirwa, who is a CPF member here in Mariannhill, saying that they are very much concerned about the spate of crime here in this area of Mariannhill, saying that they've got a high crime rate, especially regarding the teenagers. Some of the victims here are aged between 18 and 22, and 3 of them are aged 18. So you can imagine how painful the situation is, especially from the parents of these victims, whom after having identified the bodies, they were crying, and they were also being comforted by some of the community members who are also perhaps some of the relatives of the victims. But the community are confirming that they've been living in fear for a number of times, including the owners of the 3 houses who were chased away, and this gang has made this their own home, so to speak. Yes, indeed, this has been a crime scene that is still very active, as police and also the forensic teams, forensic pathologists are trying their best to ensure that they do comb this area, leaving no stone unturned. As you can see, there's still one more mortuary van that is still loading the bodies of the victims who perished here earlier on at the hands of police. We are told that the gang also shot first. According to the police, they are saying that when police came in here, they knocked at the wrong door, and upon that they were met with fire, and then they retaliated, resulting in the death of 9 people. The police are saying that fortunately for them, no one died in that incident, but police are saying that they are also on the lookout for 2 suspects who are still on the run. Ayanda.
Yeah, and Vusi, if what authorities have said is anything to go by, that community may very well be a sitting duck for more kind of terrorism down the line. Questions arising now about ways through which they can be protected in a much more sustainable way, if you know what I mean, as opposed to having police come through under the watchful gaze of the cameras, only but for a moment, and possibly leave community members there vulnerable again once they leave.
Yes, indeed. The community here are saying they've been living in fear for a number of months, and those community members are saying that they cannot speak with the media at this moment because they are afraid of being victimized, or they are fearful of their lives because this has been the situation for a number of months now, living in such conditions where just a gang will just come in and chase you away from your house, and you are forced to go away and go and seek shelter elsewhere or for a refuge elsewhere. So this has been the situation here, and also the CPF coming in saying that it's been very difficult because they are acting as middlemen between the police as well as the community. So it has been very difficult for them. They're saying they've been complaining to the police about this gang, but finally it has ended up in this way, with 9 people who were shot dead, but 2 more are still on the run, and police saying that they are currently having launched a mini hunt seeking for those 2, and also 1 or 2 of them are believed to be still having one of the guns that is missing, because police are saying that they found 3 firearms belonging to the 9 who were shot dead, but police are saying that are still looking out for 2 more who are on the run.
Vusi Khumalo for that update.
If I can talk to the councillor. Okay, here's a councillor now. If I can talk to the councillor here of this area, I've been looking out for him. He's a councillor in this area of Mariannhill. Let us see if we can talk to him. So I've been waiting for him, and so he's still drinking water and taking a breath. So yeah, so we are still waiting for him. So we're going to talk to him now. He's a councillor of this area. It's in about. Yeah, no, Sebona, Baba. So yeah, this is the councillor. Stella just speak nesbonga about councillor. Sisi live on air.
Councillor Cloth.
Councillor, come on, nesbonga.
Original cloth.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir. Tell us about we have already spoken to the CPF. They're saying they've been lodging complaints to the police about the high crime area in this area. If you can just confirm this, and also perhaps tell us about the most recent incident where this gang was allegedly involved in.
Okay, one sifisa ukuqala ngokubonga amaphoyisa. Umsebenzi wamaphoyisa omuhle kakhulu. Bendawo isiphenduke uAlbadwa ngenxa yobugebengu obukhona la. Okay. So firstly I'd like to commend the act of the police. This place has become a no-go area because people are being robbed, raped almost every day. So we appreciate the act of the police. That is what I can say at the moment.
Okay. Did you have prior knowledge of the gang that has been terrorizing this community as a local councillor, someone who's very familiar with the situation here?
Of course, we are aware that there is people that are robbing people and taking their assets and raping them, even though we were not aware of their names and their faces. And yeah, this has started long ago when people were killed, and some of those gangsters were arrested, some of them were killed during the fight between them and the police, and these ones were left from that crew.
Tell us about some of the efforts that you have been involved in trying to ensure that you address the situation of crime.
We've been reporting these incidents to the police as the law enforcement agents, and they've been dealing with this matter ever since. Hence we are here today, and yeah, that is all that we have done. Unfortunately, we as the community leaders, there's nothing that we can do like ourselves. We report every incident to the police.
If this was a gang that has been known even before this incident, are there any more gangs operating elsewhere in your ward?
Hey, we are told that there's many of them. We are told that there's many of them. Some of them we know them by names, although we cannot identify or match the name and the face, but we know them.
Have you reported those?
We reported, yes.
And police are saying?
The police are aware, they're working on it.
Okay, thanks a lot for your time.
All right, sure.
Okay. That's a local councillor of this area, Reginald Klute, saying that there has been complaints of the gangs operating in this area, having killed people and also committed extortion as well as rapes, just as this gang that has been shot dead by police here in this area of Desai in Mariannhill, west of Durban. Ayanda.
Vusi Khumalo, thanks very much indeed for that comprehensive update. A story that's still developing even at this hour. And as you can see there, we're on top of the very latest for you here on the SABC News channel. Vusi Khumalo, live to us there from Mariannhill in Durban.